You woke up today and you didn't feel ready. Maybe you haven't felt ready in a long time. There's this weight you carry, not the kind people can see, but the kind that makes every step feel heavier than it should. You scroll, you search, you ask yourself the same question over and over again. What am I doing with my life? And maybe you don't have an answer yet. And maybe that's exactly where you need to be. Let me tell you something no one says out loud enough. Feeling lost isn't failure. It's not weakness. It's not proof that you're broken or behind or doing something wrong. It's just human. This soft motivation you're searching for right now. It starts with permission. Permission to admit that you don't have it all figured out. Permission to sit in the stillness and say, I don't know what's next. Because here's the truth. The people who seem like they have it all together, they've been exactly where you are. They've had mornings where getting out of bed felt like climbing a mountain. They've had nights where silence felt too loud and questions felt too heavy. The only difference is, they stopped running from the confusion. They stopped pretending. And somewhere in that surrender, something shifted. You see, when you're feeling lost, it's not because you've gone the wrong way. It's because you're standing at a crossroads your soul has been waiting for. This is where self-growth begins. Not in the loud moments, not in the victories, but in the quiet, messy middle where you're too tired to pretend anymore. This is the healing journey nobody warns you about. The part where you don't feel like a warrior. You don't feel motivated. You feel small. You feel stuck. You feel like everyone else is moving forward and you're standing still, wondering if you'll ever catch up. But what if you're not falling behind? What if you're just shedding the versions of yourself that don't fit anymore? Shedding the expectations that were never yours to carry. Shedding the timelines that society handed you without asking if they matched your heartbeat. What if being lost is just your soul saying, it's time to rebuild? There's a word people don't use enough when they talk about success: patience. Not the kind of patience where you sit back and wait for life to happen to you, but the kind where you trust that even when you can't see the map, the road is still forming beneath your feet. This is cinematic motivation, the kind that doesn't scream at you to hustle harder or grind faster. It's the kind that whispers, rest, heal, grow in the dark for a while. Because that's what seeds do, isn't it? They don't apologize for being underground. They don't panic in the soil. They just grow, silently, steadily, without an audience. And one day, they break through. You're in that season right now. The one where nothing visible is happening. Where your progress feels invisible. Where your mental peace feels fragile and your purpose feels blurry. But here's what you can't see yet. You're not stuck. You're becoming. Every hard conversation you've had with yourself. That's courage growing roots. Every morning you chose to try again even when you didn't want to. That's inner strength being built, brick by brick. Every time you've said, I don't know, instead of faking certainty. That's wisdom beginning to take shape. This is emotional motivation, the kind that doesn't come from hype or applause. It comes from the quiet realization that you've survived every single version of lost you've ever felt before. And you're still here. Still breathing, still trying, still hoping, even if that hope is small right now. You've been carrying this idea that finding yourself means having all the answers. That clarity will arrive like lightning, and suddenly you'll just know who you are and what you're meant to do. But finding yourself isn't a moment. It's 1,000 small moments. It's choosing honesty over performance. It's letting yourself feel without apologizing for it. It's saying no to what drains you and yes to what feels true, even when the world doesn't understand. Finding yourself is messy. It's unclear. It's full of detours and dead ends and days where you question everything. And that's not a sign you're doing it wrong. That's a sign you're doing it real. Let's talk about what this season is teaching you. Because healing motivation isn't just about feeling better. It's about becoming wiser, softer, stronger, in ways that don't need to be proven. Lesson 1. Your timeline is not their timeline. You've been comparing yourself to people who started earlier, had different resources, faced different battles, and in doing so, you've convinced yourself you're behind. But life isn't a race with a single finish line. It's a million different races, and every single person is running their own. Some people bloom at 25, some at 35, some at 55. Your season will come, not because you forced it, but because you honored the pace your soul needed to grow at. Lesson 2. Being lost means you've outgrown where you were. You're not confused because you're failing. You're confused because you've evolved past the version of yourself who had all the answers figured out. That old version, it was beautiful. It got you here. But you're not that person anymore. And the discomfort you're feeling right now is just the space between who you were and who you're becoming. That space is sacred. It's where transformation lives. Lesson 3. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel strong. Some days you'll feel like you're back at the beginning. And both of those days are part of the journey. Emotional healing doesn't follow a straight path. It circles. It revisits. It teaches you the same lesson in different lighting until you finally understand it at a soul level. So if you woke up today feeling heavy again, even after days of feeling lighter, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. And humans heal in waves, not in straight lines. Here's what's happening to you right now, even if you can't feel it yet. You're building a life-changing motivation inside yourself. Not the kind that fades after a week. Not the kind that needs constant outside validation. But the kind that comes from deep within. The kind that says, I don't have to prove anything to anyone, including myself. You're learning mindfulness without calling it that. You're learning to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. You're learning that peace doesn't mean having no problems. It means having the strength to not let problems define you. This is what a success mindset really looks like. It's not confidence every single day. It's resilience when confidence fades. It's showing up even when the path isn't clear. It's trusting that the work you're doing in the dark will matter in the light. And slowly, so slowly, you might not even notice. At first, you're changing. The things that used to shake you, they don't anymore. The opinions that used to control you, they're just noise now. The future that used to terrify you, it's starting to feel like possibility instead of pressure. This motivational video in 2025 isn't telling you to become someone new. It's reminding you that you've been becoming someone new all along. You've been in a healing journey this entire time. Every breakdown was a breakthrough in disguise. Every moment you thought you were falling apart, you were actually falling into place. Your mental peace wasn't lost. It was just buried under layers of expectations that were never yours to carry. And now, you're digging it back up. One breath at a time. One choice at a time. One quiet morning where you wake up and think, maybe I'm going to be okay. And maybe it turns into probably. And probably turns into certainty. Not loud certainty. Not performative certainty. But the kind that sits deep in your chest and says, I've survived everything so far. I'll survive what comes next too. That's inner strength. That's purpose. That's you finding yourself not by searching everywhere else, but by coming home to who you've always been underneath all the noise. So here's what I need you to know. It's okay to be lost. It's okay to not have the answers yet. It's okay to take your time, to move slowly, to rebuild in silence while the world keeps spinning. Because you're not lost. You're between chapters. And the most beautiful stories are written in the spaces where nothing seems to be happening. This is your motivational storytelling moment. Not the part where you have it all figured out, but the part where you decide that not having it figured out is enough for today. The part where you choose calm motivation over chaos, where you choose rest over hustle, where you choose being real over looking ready. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you're meant to be. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day soon, you're going to look back at this season and realize you weren't lost. You were finding yourself, and that was the bravest thing you've ever done. For everyone who's ever felt like they're wandering in the dark, this is your reminder. The dawn is coming. and you're going to be ready for it.